I got Balayage Beauty thinking it would be really similar to selfie mode. I am a little bit wrong on that. Warm, deeper, rich cinnamon coppery color. If that's even a color description, I don't know. I'm just like spitting words out of my mouth. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I feel lucky enough to be able to show you all three colors from one of Raquel Welch's newer styles called Balayage Beauty. So before I jump into all of that, I'm gonna remind you to like this video and subscribe to my channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. So about a month-ish or so ago, Raquel Welch came out with their brand new style called Balayage Beauty. And this style is only available in their three new sort of ombre colors. And also those ombre colors are not available in other styles. They are just only on the Balayage Beauty. Now, if you're unfamiliar with balayage, that's just basically a term for the coloring in a hairstyle where, you know, it kind of starts off darker and gradually goes into other colors. So you can have that ombre effect. Now, before I jump into all three colors, let me give you a quick rundown of the cap and sort of what this wig is all about. So Balayage Beauty is made with Raquel Welch's true to life heat-friendly fibers. So heat-friendly fibers I love because they don't have as much of a shine as regular synthetics do. And for me, that's really important because I find when something is too shiny and too, you know, doll hair like-ish, it just makes it look a little bit unnatural. So I love heat-friendly fibers for the lack of shine, or at least the reduced amount of shine. However, something to know about heat-friendly fibers, especially with Raquel Welch's, they come really nice and soft and lovely, and you know, you'll love the feel of them right away. However, quickly, you will find after a couple wears, they get very tangly, especially if you have a longer style like this and a wavy style. They get tangly, the ends get rough and almost like feeling straw-like and dry. So you do have to regularly maintain, especially the ends, with some heat. Now, I do have videos already on how to maintain your heat-friendly fibers with heat and you know how to curl them, how to straighten them. So if you haven't seen those videos, make sure you go back and check them out. But just know that heat-friendly fibers do require a little bit of work and a little bit of maintenance, a bit more so than if they were plain synthetics. All right, now I got Balayage Beauty thinking it would be really similar to Selfie Mode, which is another new-ish wig by Raquel Welch within like the last 6 months or so. So I thought it was going to be like basically identical to Selfie Mode, but with these balayage colors. I am a little bit wrong on that. One of the things I found with Selfie Mode, I've done a review on Selfie Mode, by the way, so you can go back and check that out too. But one of the things I found with Selfie Mode is that it felt like a lot of hair, and it also felt like the permatease, there was a lot of that as well. So it just kind of was a little bit overbearing, and I can see how many people could have gotten Selfie Mode and been just a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of hair, the amount of permatease, and just like it was more of like a voluminous, voluptuous look as opposed to like an everyday casual wavy style. But this one, on the other hand, you guys, oh my goodness, I was prepared for a lot of hair and a lot of permatease, but guess what, you guys? I don't think there is like any permatease on here. I've been like sticking my fingers in the wefting to see if I can feel any, and I don't really feel any at all. I don't think there's any permatease in here. So it is laying pretty low profile to my head here. And the density of this, I'm not gonna say this is a light density, but it is like a light to medium. So it is a nice natural density, and this is going to have a little bit more of a relaxed look than Selfie Mode. Let me give you a little spin so we can see this whole thing. Now, in comparison to the length of Selfie Mode, this is honestly very similar in length. The front, we do have about 13 inches. The sides is 14 inches. At the back is also 14 inches. And then at the crown, so from up here, we have about 16 inches in length. And then from your nape, so the hair right from that back there, that's gonna be 13 inches. Now, all that being said, sometimes I don't really trust the measurements of the lengths, and I never truly fully believe them. I don't know why. So what I like to do sometimes is just find out the length from like the center of my head to the bottom. So I'm gonna go to this center part here, take my measuring tape, pull it tight, and just see where that last final strand lands. So I would say that's about 17 inches from the center of my head all the way to the last little curl I find there. So hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit of a better idea as to how long this is actually gonna be. Okay, let me take my other Balayage Beauty here and show you what this cap is gonna look like. So if I were comparing this to selfie mode, it's gonna have a different top. Selfie mode has a full monofilament top where you can change your part. Balayage Beauty has a center monofilament part. So you have just about an inch worth of monofilament here to allow you to play with parting space in there. And then it does go into a nice deep lace front that extends into your ear tab. So Raquel Welch always does these beautiful lace fronts though. And you can even tell here on this lace that they do bring that lighter color forward on that lace front just to help disguise the knotting at the very front. And they'll do that with all of the colors here. So let me show you this lace front here. Now, whenever you have darker roots, you are gonna notice the knotting on that lace a little bit more. So just same with this color, they have brought those lighter colors forward, or that lighter sort of reddish copper color forward, so that the knotting directly at your hairline here is gonna be a little bit less obvious than if it were this like deep dark brown color. So that is helpful, but I know some people don't always love having this like brighter color in the front. But anyways, Raquel Welch always does this, bringing that forward. However, I do notice they didn't pull as much forward as they usually do. So it's not as evident of a money piece at the front as a lot of their like rooted blonde colors are. Oh, and let me give you a peek of what this monofilament part is gonna look like. Now remember I said that whenever you have dark fibers, the knotting is gonna be a little bit more evident. So I don't know if you can see that, but you do have within that inch to part it. So if you were to part it as close to that seam as you can, you could do a little bit of an off-center part to either the left or the right, and you could even shift it over just a touch, just to give you that off-center look. Of course, these fibers aren't gonna go over that way right now because they aren't trained to do that, but you could part it just a little off-center to help you out if you don't love the direct center part. All right, let's go back to this cap here. So we do have an open wefted cap, and there are some silicone strips throughout just for added grip. So open wefted caps are always nice and stretchy. They're breathable, of course, and ventilated. And then we do have our velvet ear tabs, nice and comfy cozy. And we have a velvet nape here. Just know that it's not extended. So an extended velvet nape would be about an inch wide. And an extended one often provides a little bit more comfort, but I don't find this one uncomfortable by any means. And then we have the Velcro adjusters to adjust your circumference. All right, so I am a petite size. I measure 20.5 inches in circumference, 11.5 inches front to nape, and 11.5 inches ear to ear. This is sitting really nicely ear to ear for me. It's sitting exactly where I would want it to sit, which is just above my ear crease and just ahead of my ears as well. In terms of my front to back or my front to nape, there's a lot of extra cap on me here. So in general, to me, this fits average to maybe a little bit bigger than average. And in terms of circumference, it's also a little bit big for me. I would bring the adjusters in a bit. However, that being said, there is, you know, a good amount of stretch here. So I think this would be a really good fit for an average to average large head circumference. All right, let's talk about these colors now. So I'm wearing the color RL2/31OM, also known as Ombre Cinnamon. So this is going to be a warm color, as you can see. We're going to start off with a 2 at the roots here. A 2 is going to be like your darkest brown. So this is a very dark, rich, warm brown root, I find. And then it gradually goes into more of a coppery brown color, in my opinion. You might see that this could look a little bit similar to shaded iced pumpkin spice. It is, in a way, does have that coppery tone to it. However, I have shaded iced pumpkin spice here, so we can see the difference. You are gonna find that shaded iced pumpkin spice is a little bit lighter and brighter. This still has hints of that dark brown in it as well, I find, so it's not gonna be quite as dramatic as iced pumpkin spice is. So it is more of that warm, deeper, rich cinnamon coppery color. If that's even a color description, I don't know, I'm just like spitting words out of my mouth. Now, out of all three colors here, this one is actually my favorite. And the reason this is my favorite is, well, there's a couple reasons. One reason, I'm really into like these red coppery tones. I find that they work with my skin tone really well. I also find that the darker roots like this suit me well because I'm originally a dark brunette. They match my eyebrows really well. So altogether, I love the look and the tones on my skin tone. But I also love, in comparison to all the other colors, I find that this color blends the most seamlessly from the roots into the rest of this coppery brown color. I find that it's less drastic of a change and it just melts a little bit more easily. But let me take this one off now and show you guys the next one. This one is going to be RL4/15 OM, also known as Ombre Pecan or Ombre Pecan. I don't know, however you'd like to say it. I was actually Googling how to say that word. It's like someone calling me out one time being like, never say pecan, it's pecan. So I looked it up and I realized that both are correct. So you say it however you want to say it, pecan or pecan. I don't know, I think I say pecan more because of like a pecan pie. I feel like you would say pecan pie as opposed to pecan pie. I don't know. Anyways, you say it how you want. I'm rambling about the word pecan, I don't know. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what I'm gonna say anymore. Whatever comes out of my mouth will be what it will be. All right, so this one starts with a 4. So a 4 is going to be a dark brown. So the dark brown is going to gradually go into sort of what I find is like a light reddish brown tone. I don't know if you can pick up the warmth in this, but I see a lot of warmth in this reddish brown here. But then it is cooled down from all of these cooler blonde highlights throughout as well. So I find that this one's more confusing because you want it to be cool, but then you have these warmer light brown tones in it that make it warm, of course. So I would just call this a little bit more of a neutral tone. Let me spin so you can get a good look at this color. Now, I do love all these colors. They are very unique. However, just as I was mentioning before, how I liked the Ombre Cinnamon the best because of the way it transitioned a little bit more seamlessly. I don't know if you can notice how this one, I just feel like there's a lot of darkness and then suddenly it just goes lighter. I wish there was a little bit more blending in this color from the dark into the light, but in comparison to this one, I just feel like it just transitions a little bit more seamlessly. I don't know. Anyways, this is still a really beautiful color. I love the tones down here on this part. I just, like I said, wish that there was a little bit more of a transition and maybe bring these darker tones down a little bit further and so that you can see them a bit more. I don't know. I'm no hairstylist. I'm no colorist. Okay, and then let me show you how they brought these lighter pieces forward in the front to give you a little bit more of a lighter knotting at your lace front here so that it's not too dark of knotting right up front. However, like I said earlier, they don't bring up as much blonde in the front here as they have on their normal rooted blonde colors. So that blonde in the front, it is there, of course, you can see it, but you can also kind of hide it too, just by like placing it under there, and it doesn't give you a huge money piece at the front. Okay, so Ombre Pecan, Ombre Pecan, Ombre Pecan, I don't know, one of those words. Let me transition now to the next one. This one is called Ombre Wheat, and this is the color code RL8/24OM. So let me go ahead and put this one on, and you will notice a big difference in the rooting on this one. So the other two had pretty dark rooting up at the top, but this one is a lighter, I would say a lighter reddish brown. You can definitely see warmth in this root here. So you're not gonna find this is cool at all. This is definitely a warm, lighter, reddish brown tone. And let me show you in comparison to this dark one from the Ombre Cinnamon, there's definitely a huge difference in the color there. So after we have this light reddish brown root, it transitions into what I would say is a medium reddish blonde color. You can see the warmth here. It's almost strawberry in tone, but then we are cooled off with more of these cooler platinum highlights as well. So it is also hard to say whether or not this is a warm or a cool color because it does have a blend of both of them. And if you are someone who likes the color Shaded Wheat by Raquel Welch, I do find it has similar tones in it. Shaded Wheat has a lot of that warm medium blonde, almost a strawberry tone, and I find it a very similar tone in this as well. Plus these lighter, cooler blonde highlights are in this too. So this is Shaded Wheat, and of course this is Ombre Wheat. So they are similar-ish. All right, let me spin so you can see this whole wig. And let's take a look at this lace front on Ombre Wheat as well, bringing those lighter pieces forward so that the knotting is not quite as visible right up at the very front. But again, not as much of a money piece in the front here as you would typically see on the Raquel Welch rooted blonde colors. All right, let me just show you all three of these colors side by side. Here they are here. I do feel like all of them have a little bit of warmth to them. Obviously, Ombre Cinnamon is gonna be your warmest. There's just like all warm in this one. Whereas these two have a good combination of warm and cool, making them more of neutral tones, I feel. But here they all are, and here's all of their rooting. Lovely colors. I just, like I said earlier, I wish that there was a little bit more transition from the darkness at the top into the rest of the coloring below. But that's just me. Maybe it's something that you really love. We all have our own opinions. Okay, that is all I have to share with you guys for today about Balayage Beauty. What do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I feel like Balayage Beauty was a very highly anticipated piece by Raquel Welch that, you know, a lot of people were excited to see and learn more about. But I'd love to know what you think of it and if this is one that you would buy for yourself, if you love the colors, or if you're like, I could pass. I'm not really into this whole balayage thing. Because I know they are definitely unique colors, not for everybody, but I would love your thoughts on this. As always, thank you so much for being here, you guys. I appreciate all of your support, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.